Hello, good morning, or really good evening, as it were. But anyway, this is part like update and part just like chit chat because I had recently mentioned how I was feeling like I was seeing these opportunities arise that I have been like looking forward to for a long time, and they were present in front of me, but I was feeling like very anxious and negative about those things. And I guess the expression is like waiting for the other shoe to drop. And the thing is, like, the thing is, normally, that's irrational feeling. For me, it did happen. The shoes did indeed drop. So, all the things that I was like really excited about for this year, not happening. Uh, I shouldn't say it like that. It's not like all the things. It's not really like everything, but it's like I decided not to move for personal reasons. And my travel plans, they're looking dicey. So I decided to focus on preparing for that in a way where I don't have concretes. So I'll deal with that later. And then there were certain like goals that I had like for the year that were sort of like dominoes for those other things. So because of all that, I've been feeling like very mixed feelings. Um because on one hand, not changing something and not having to like experience something new is comforting in a sense, but there's also the great disappointment of not getting to do the things that you wanted to do. And I really feel like that like comfort aspect that is lower down in these emotions that I'm feeling. Um, and what's been like rising above that is, so there is this like disappointment, obviously, and then there's also like an anger that's on top of that, and that's more related to like the situation that I'm in and that I've been in, and like really the reason that I want to make a dramatic change, even though that's something that's very scary to me. Um, but putting that aside, then there is I feel like I kind of made making these changes like my identity for the year, because I really heavily emphasized that in my goals. And also, like, I checked off the like lead up to these things, you know what I mean? Like, I saved up a certain amount, I got my passport and things like sorted like that, um, to the point where like all that's left to do is go. And then it's like, okay, but now it's these things that I can't control, or these things that like my whatever work I do, and this is less so with traveling, whatever like I'm working on, or like how hard I work, it's not going to change the situation because it's not my issue. It's not coming from me. So there's that. And then because of that, I've there's this feeling I've been having of just like I'm floating, or I'm like listless, or like I was saying, I made these goals my identity and emphasize them in my plans for the year. So now it's like, okay, who am I now? or what am I doing with my life now that I'm not taking these steps, or like how do I feel like I'm successful if I don't do these things? How do I feel like I'm a grown-up if I don't do these things? So yesterday I started redoing like my goals for the year. I redid my vision board, and I removed a lot of my goals from my, like, I do the bingo card, so I had 24. And honestly, I feel like even when I made it the first time, I wasn't totally sure, because like, you know how like when you feel like you should be doing something, but like it's not in alignment with you or whatever, so you don't do it very well, or like you don't put your full effort into it. I feel like I wasn't fully there, or maybe it was just I had too many squares to fill. But I look at what I had down and the way that I had it, and I'm like, basically I look at it and I'm like, I made like these errors where I have the same thing twice, or like the way that it's formatted, the way that it's like, the way that it looks, it's not inviting to me. The way that the way that it's like stored in my notes, it's not easy for me to like get to and like check things off of. And I don't think it was self-sabotage or anything necessarily, but when I look back on it, I'm like, I can do better than this. So I made a new one. I took away a lot of things that I'm like, I'm not aiming for that anymore. I still have too many spaces. I still have spaces to fill. But I'm going to take some time to think about like what I really want to do. Or I might even just leave them blank for a while. Maybe make a copy of the document. And like, as I check things off, like add more stuff. Because like, it's not that serious. Like, even like having all these goals, like, it's arbitrary. I could just go like through the year, like vibing. Like, it's not a requirement to have New Year's resolutions. And it's not a requirement to decide them in January, which is why I'm redoing my garbage in April. So it's at this point actually been a few weeks, and I'm starting to feel better. I haven't like fully talked to anyone about the situation, which I know is bad for me. But I also know what everyone is going to say to me, and I know that it's not going to make me feel good. So at the same time, I'm kind of like, whatever. And like holding that in may not be the right thing for me to do, but anticipating like how much worse I would feel to basically to not be understood, and knowing from experience just like how people react to me, and like certain the way that I approach certain things and the way that I think about certain things. A lot of people would basically tell me, stop. Stop doing that. Stop thinking like that. Stop being who you are. And I'm like, I just can't. And that's really where it ends. Like, I I know who I am, and it might be to my detriment, but I don't know, I just kind of have to hope in the end it works out. Or otherwise, honestly, one problem that I have is that situations get resolved before I can fully process them. So if I have to have like a conversation with someone, I can't really respond the way that I want to for a couple of days because I'm just like digesting what's happening, which I don't know how it would be possible for me to change that in my life, or like what I need to do to I don't know, I guess think faster or like feel things faster. But I don't know, I have this like delayed reaction sometimes to stuff where it's like, okay, so how do I go backwards in this? Or like, if like say you have an argument with someone and they're like, you do this and this and this, and I need you to do that, to do this and this and this, and you're just like, okay, that's fair, and you accept that, and then like later on you're thinking about it, you're like, well, actually I don't do all those things that they said, and they could actually do more to like support the way that they want me to act, or it's not my responsibility to like make them feel this way, etc., etc. Like, how do you go back to that conversation when supposedly like you've come to an agreement? Like, I don't know how to do that, and I don't particularly like doing that. I feel like at a certain point I just like give up, or I'm like, it's over with, whatever. I'll just find something else to do, or a new route to try. Part of the like giving up thing too is like, I can't be the only one putting an effort into communicating. So I'm like, I'm leaving basically, but then it's like, I'm leaving this discussion with you having like strong armed me into something, but it's because like you started communicating in a way that was like, okay, I'm shutting down, bye. So I don't get to like fully explore the conversation. And then it's like, oh, days later, I could have like said this, like I could have like thought through that. I don't really know how to wrap up, to be so honest, but I want to. So yeah, life's unfair. Um, I'm trying to change my goals and the way that I look at how I'm living right now. And trying to find something to like strive for this year. Something that I can like put my heart in. But I'm also trying to like live more presently and experience more like gratitude. There was something I want to say, but it keeps running out of my mind. That's fine. Anyway, the next video hopefully should be something that's a research topic. I've been working on it for a long time, and I'm excited to bring it out of my mind and onto my phone. So I hope that's the next one. If it's not the next one, then I'm telling myself right now the next one will be more gratitude time. So those are the two options for me mentally. Supposed to have an outro. But sometimes I like it better when I just like leave.